This is for standard G tuning, or at least that's how I tabbed it out. And I'll just play the first one for you. This is a melodic lick. So you can see I'm using that 7th note in the C chord. If you put on your C chord, your C7th chord, there's a 7th note there. That's on the 8th fret. And what a 7th chord does is it creates tension to move you to the chord that's a 4th away from it. So in this case, C7th, the chord that's a 4th away from that is an F chord. So you can hear that resolve there. There's tension and then there's release. And so if you look at the notes, then we'll just take the bottom 3 notes in the 7th chord. If you look at the notes, we got E, we got G, and we got a B flat. And so when we resolve to an F chord, you're doing a number of different things. Your E note is going up to an F. So that's an obvious resolve. That's going from a half step there. Your G is going to an A. So a whole step up. And then your B flat is going up to a C. So that's one way to resolve it. Now, what if we did like that, or just a 2-note F chord? Then what you would be doing is your E note would be resolving to an F, still an F, but just an F in a different spot. Your G note would also be resolving to the F. So they're both resolving to that F. Just one is doing it from a higher place and one's doing it from a lower place. The G is doing it from above the F note, the E is doing it from below. And then your B flat, and this is the best part of the resolve, is your B flat is moving to that A. First lick we're going over is the C7th lick. Up the neck in the melodic position, this position up here, your index finger is going to be on that 7th note. And you can put your ring finger on the A note right here. And you're just going to do a forward backwards roll. And then forward again, and then backwards twice. So it's like forward, backwards, backwards. If that helps you remember it, then use that. But you can also just check out the tab and try to remember the sound of it. Okay, and so what you're doing over the F chord doesn't really matter. It just kind of, I'm just showing where this lick goes. So, you know, it could be in the context of 9-pound hammer, and you could be doing a melody in F. Say someone wanted to sing 9-pound hammer in the key of F, then you could play this lick in that. Well, F or C, because C7th is moving to an F chord. So you could do it as the 5 chord in the key of F, or you could do it as a 1 chord moving to a 4 chord in the key of F. Wherever you have an F after the C7th, the C chord, you can put a C7th lick in. So if you're doing 9-pound hammer in the key of C, let's just go there, and then I'll show you what it sounds like in the key of F. If you're doing 9-pound hammer in the key of C, it goes. So let's just start there. So you can start off with that lick, just that full first measure of a 9-pound hammer. 1, 2, 3, to boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So you can like fit that lick in right at the beginning of 9-pound hammer. But if you're doing 9-pound hammer in the key of F and you wanted to use the C chord as a 5 chord, this is where it gets interesting. See where I put it in? I put it right after the B flat chord. And it sounds a little funky over that C7th in the key of X in the context of F, but it still works. It still totally works. how that works? We're using the C7th in two different contexts. So we're using it in the context of the key of C first. Here we go. And in the key of F. Right? Does that make sense? Using the 7th chord in two different contexts here. I wanted to put G minor to C7th over this last lick just to show you what it sounds like if you do a G minor chord to a C7th and then move to an F. That's just a standard 2-5-1 chord progression in the key of F. And that's something that you can do when you see a C chord, C7th chord, moving to an F chord, you can superimpose a G minor chord onto that C chord right before the C chord. And so that's where I came up with this idea. I was like, okay, so I want to start out with the G minor scale, and so or G Dorian scale. And so what I came up with was that's all G minor. So it's got a little twist in there. Can you see my hand? And it resolves. Just like we were talking about before. Dominant 7th in the 3rd, resolving to the 3rd in the root. Although I just put the C in the F. For whatever reason, that sounded good to me in the moment. So since he said Angelina Baker, let's just kind of go with that because that's a great tune to start with. And the reason for that is that you're going to be in C tuning. So that's my first tip, is get comfortable in double C tuning. So we're going to just go there. And if you don't know double C tuning, it's lowering your D string down to a C. So lowering your low D down to a C, and then bringing your B up to a C. The thing that's most challenging for bluegrass players is keeping your thumb kind of hanging on to that 5th string. So when you hit a note, when you come down with a note with your index finger or your middle finger, I use my index finger, and that's why I have a long nail on it. But some people use their middle finger. When you come down on a note, my thumb, you can see where my thumb is. It's like hanging on to that 5th string. And you just want to drop your hand through and let the weight of your hand go through the string. But also keep your thumb up there. So a lot of times people want to just like let their thumb flail around, but you really want to keep it up there because that's the important part of the next part of this. All right, so you want to practice that with the metronome over and over again until it feels a little bit more natural than it did 10 minutes ago.